All right. Hello, everybody. We should be live. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Cryptic. Nice to see you guys. Oh, yeah, I know. It's kind of a bad time. But welcome to the live show for Fool's Errand by Robin Hobb. I'm pretty sure all of you watching know who we are by now. But if you want to go around and introduce yourself again, you certainly can. Stephanie, you want to start? Just tell us.
Yeah, sure. Definitely. So my name's Stephanie. My channel is Stephanie's Bookverse. And yeah, I like to read fantasy.
Nico?
I'm Nico. My channel's Nico's Book Reviews too, also fantasy. And for the record, was having Wi-Fi problems, so that's why the background is different, because I had to find a spot I could plug into the old Ethernet cable. So.
I'm Andrew from Andrew's Wizardly Reads. I do, indie fantasy, adult fantasy, and some sci-fi.
And I'm Megan, and I do a lot of fantasy, some sci-fi, some thriller, some classics, but I love me some good fantasy. Okay, so we are discussing Fool's Errand, which is book 1 of the Tawny Man trilogy. So let's just jump right in. How did you guys feel about being back in the Six Duchies?
And this was fantastic.
Loved it. So good.
It was almost like coming home to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was just reading the first, chapter with Fitz in the woods, and I'm like, it just is so comforting.
I don't see how people say Life Ship is the best trilogy. Like, if this is the start of Tawny Man, like, oh.
It was very strong, in my opinion, definitely.
Yeah, it was so nice being back, just in general, and like right off the bat, I'm like, oh, Fitz, and just being back there, because like I liked Live Ship, but I liked Farseer more, and so Tawny Man might take the cake. I've heard from some people that it will, so I'm really excited to continue. It just I got through this so quickly. It was like, yeah, just meeting an old friend again.
I think because we had such like a good experience reading the Farseer trilogy, and like you get to know Fitz so intimately because you're inside his head, and it's like, that first person narrative and just going through his experiences, that when you're revisiting him, it's like meeting an old friend. I completely agree. But the Fool was different.
Well, I mean, he's changed from his time in Bingtown. Him? She? It's not clarified. Anyway, yeah, no, I loved how, like, because, everyone was just like, oh, you don't have to read Farseer to enjoy Live Ship, and you don't have to read Live Ship to enjoy Tawny Man. But it all ties together. Like, it's all interwoven, and, like, if read in publication order, enriches the experience tenfold.
It does, yeah.
I completely agree. Yeah, because there was so much. I keep hearing people say that, like, the further they get, like, this is my favorite now. But yeah, it's like I feel like you do get so much more, because the Live Ship traders had a ton of references to Farseer, and then a lot of them were a little bit more subtle, but there were some very definitive references to Live Ship, including the one particular scene on Other's Island, which would have made no sense.
Yeah,
Live Ship.
It was. Who did I ping? I was just like, did Fitz? Yeah, I pinged Nico, and I was like, are they on Other's Island?
Yeah.
I was like, no, he's not.
Well, when they're going through the little alcoves, and I'm like, no. And then they're like, yeah, what you pick up on the beach? I'm like, no.
As soon as he found something, I was like, that's what it is. He's finding stuff on the beach.
What did you find? You found like a feather made of this?
All the feathers.
I think that's the feathers to the rooster crown.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Which, man, I'm so interested to see what the heck that's going to be. But anyway,
it's got to be something.
It's got to be important.
Yeah, for sure.
I love the tie-ins, like, especially the Fool and his horse Malta. I was like, oh my God.
Oh, that was fantastic.
I was like, Malta, that's what you chose. Ugh.
I mean, she was a bit of a burden, a beast of burden for the first couple books.
Yeah.
She's annoying.
But what I thought was funny was in Live Ship, I had complaints that it took too long to set up. And we spent a good, 150, 200 pages just at the cabin.
Yeah.
I didn't care.
No.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it.
I even said that when I did my review. I'm like, I think it was like 250 pages, and Fitz hadn't even gotten to Buckkeep Castle yet. And I'm like, I'm loving it, and nothing's happened.
Nothing happens.
That's like, I mean, like with Farseer too, like I get why some people don't like it. And it's just, if you didn't like that, you're not gonna like this, because for that exact reason, like we're all like, oh my gosh, literally nothing happened, but we loved it anyway. It's just because it's just Fitz and being back in his head after that. I do think it was better with especially another trilogy in between though, because it's been a bit, and so you get that feeling of coming back after time has passed, and it makes you enjoy it even more. But yeah, it's so good, so good.
Well, I think she was using that time to like establish Fitz as like an older adult now, kind of like reflecting on the things that he's been through and how that's changed him. And then also Hap is older now. You know, he's had 15 years of a relationship with Starling, which don't get me started on her. And
oh man.
I think we needed, like live ship to kind of break it up. Yeah. But
Starling drove me nuts. Even the scene that they had at the end of the book, I wanted to clean her clock.
Did you guys like her in the original trilogy at all?
I didn't mind her in the original trilogy.
She was okay.
No, okay. Because I was never a huge fan. I thought she was just there for convenience.
Well, she was only in Assassin's Quest.
Yeah. Well, that's what she even told them. She was very open about it. She's like, I want to come with you because I want to be here for your story. She's like, that's why I'm helping you. I want firsthand this story.
Yeah, she even chastised Fitz because the guy who survived Assassin's Quest went and told the story, and she was like, you could have given me the stone. And he was just like, I didn't even know, like, he went and did that. Like, I just told him to go back to Buckkeep and protect Katrikin.
I definitely didn't like her, but I also think like her character, like everything she did, even if it was kind of crappy, was very fit with how she'd been set up. She had never really tried to hide that she was really in things for herself. The whole thing with, being with Fitz, even in Assassin's Quest, was because, she was lonely and just kind of like that. And, that's the only person he sees. And so I can definitely see she's like, I've been coming here for like 15 years. And like, you're just going to be like, I found out you're married. No, go away from me. So like I see he's doing the right thing, but it's also, I can see her perspective based on the type of person she is. She's really thinking about herself and just mad that somebody would have a problem with something. So, but yeah, I mean, she definitely, like, she's super mean to Fitz.
And Hap. She's mean to Hap.
Oh, see, that was the worst.
She threatened his ass.
Yeah,
right?
Her being mean to Fitz was like that's kind of mean, but I see it. But yeah, no, the Hap part, that made it so much worse.
I won't cuss anymore. I'm sorry.
Okay, she like manipulated this like sweet little teenage boy that just wants to do the right thing. Just drove me nuts. I
was so mad.
I did. So hopefully this isn't too off topic, but with Hap, I just loved all the bits of like he's younger and seeing the difference of how aware he is of things versus how Fitz was at that age, and even now, just like all the little things where like Hap's like trying to set him up or like trying to figure things out on his own and like realizing things before Fitz does, even though Fitz is supposed to be like the parent figure. And so I did enjoy that, just the difference between the two young men.
Well, going off of what Nico's saying, like, I loved the fact that even though he's trying to be the parental figure, the unhealed scars from the original trilogy in his relationships, Fitz never even thinks that, like, he could go to Shade or any of those people for assistance in helping Hap, and literally all he had to do was ask. I mean, he's the savior of the kingdom.
Yeah, he gets treated just like crap. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
he just can't catch a break. He's literally could be the king, and
he could have been, but he didn't want to. He just wanted Molly.
I know, but like if something happened to Dutiful, if something happened to Nettle, like literally he's the last Farseer. If something happened to Chade's elderly, like literally he could be on the throne, and everyone's like treats him like crap. It drives me nuts. I hate it.
I just they use him a lot, and I feel like he feels like it's his duty to be used by the crown. But I'm like, they just use this poor guy, and then they're like, okay, you can go live as a hermit for however long you want to. But then as soon as we need you again, you best be coming out of retirement and fixing our problems. I'm like, dude.
Sacrifice, and not what they called them. That's of the Mountain Kingdom.
Yeah.
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 Well,
that was. Oh, go ahead.
What Jennifer's saying right there, the quid pro quo. I mean, Shade says all you had to do was ask, and I'd have done it.
Yeah. I don't think
also,
that was true.
But like, can you do this for me though while we're talking about it? You know.
Yeah, like since we're chatting, can you also come teach Dutiful the skill?
I think Fitz knows this by now, though, so he's wizened up and he's like knows kind of how to push back.
Yeah.
At first, he was like, "I'm not going back to Bookkeep. I don't care what's going on there. I'm not going." But then he decides to. So, let me see. Sorry, I did write some notes. What did you guys think about Dutiful as a character, like being the heir to the throne? Did you like him?
Pain in the butt.
Yeah, he's not as bad as Malta, but he was a pain in the butt.
No,
he was a starstruck moon calf to basically just. He was like the infatuated boy finding his first crush.
Yeah, I felt like
I'm a marrier.
Wasn't
she dead?
I mean, she was like taking advantage of him, to be fair, but like I did find him annoying too. But it's, you know, he was being manipulated and all, so I will give him that.
He did have some good parts.
He was very naive. I felt for his age, because I think he's 15 also, or 14, 15. I felt like he was a tad bit immature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who?
Dutiful. And he 15.
Oh. He was 15, yeah. He was a very immature 15. I mean, when we think of what Fitz was doing at age 15, I mean, if I were Fitz, I'm like, no excuse. When I was 15, I was literally saving the world, having a kid. Yeah, like, no.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of him. But do you guys think that he'll, like, grow over the next couple books, just kind of like the other?
I think so. I think we're going to, just like the original trilogy, I think this will be set over a number of years.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just reading Jennifer. Yeah, so Dutiful did say he was always treated like a prince, not a person. Yeah, so I did empathize with him, not gonna lie.
Hobb is so good at doing that. Like, she'll give you a whiny character and you'll be like, shut up, stop whining. But then they'll say something that makes it like seem very reasonable for them to be whining, and you're like, okay, you might be onto something there. Yeah. And like even with Fitz, you had that where he'd get really whiny. And like part of me is like, stop whining, but the other part's like, he's making good points about this. So she's really, really good at like towing that line and like giving you characters that are annoying, but then growing to make you care about them. So
I'm curious about his betrothed. I don't remember her name. Wasn't she like 11?
Yeah, the chick from the Out Islands. I think she was 11 or 12 or something. She was very young.
Bit of a complicated name.
But
it's like Alien.
I don't remember.
I can't. That's one of those names I think I just glossed over because I didn't know how to pronounce
it. It's almost like Eileen, but
we'll just call her Eileen.
Fantasy.
Yeah, but she seems like her character is gonna be real interesting.
She seems like she'll be boss. I'm excited.
Because I don't feel like they would have included that in the end of the book, and Fitz, you know, seeing her and was like, oh, she's gonna be something. If nothing was gonna come of it, so I'm curious.
Definitely, yeah.
Yes, I actually agree with Jennifer 1,000,000%.
I mean, I kind of did like Malta by the end, though, of the trilogy.
I feel like I never liked her, but I was like, okay, I don't hate you anymore.
At book 2, I'm like, okay, I don't hate you anymore. And book 3, I'm like, she actually is growing a little bit. She's still annoying, but that's I don't know. You get those characters sometimes. You definitely get the easy to hate, but then Malta was just so annoying in the first book.
Yeah, I give up.
Was she is she in the Rainwild series, Malta?
I think so. From what I've heard. But it's like a 30-year-old Malta, I think. Like it's a time jump.
I don't think it'll be that much better.
Do you guys have those books?
I don't have them yet.
Not yet.
I will be picking them up if we continue this read along.
Right, because I have the first 3. I found them at the used bookstore, so I just picked them up. Maybe like 6 months ago. So.
Oh man, I got all of the UK paperbacks at this point, so
I'll be picking them up on the the caveat that we continue.
Okay, so Malta is in there. Okay, interesting. So what did you guys think about the like dynamic between Fitz and Dutiful? Because I'll be completely honest, I had completely forgotten that Fitz is technically Dutiful's biological father.
Oh, I didn't forget because that was weirded me out a lot in the first series. So I was like,
It's a couple of years since I've read book 3, and then I was like, wait. And I had to go look it up because I completely forgotten. And now I'm just like, my mind is blown.
Yeah.
It was odd.
Well,
and
like Fitz is conflicted about it too, because he's like, he's the child of my body, but not of my soul.
Doesn't really matter though now, does it?
I mean, like he kind of got like body jacked and like
he did, but like
no.
I don't think his genetics really cares, you know.
Like Verity is not your father. I'm sorry. I don't care what you say.
I did love the comment, like, you must be Chade and Lady what's her face's Lady Time. Yeah.
That was funny.
He thought that was hysterical. He's just like, nah, no. I still remember Lady Time just like, empty my privy. It's like this rancid thing.
Oh, that's so funny though.
And Ketcherkin doesn't even like recall. Let's just
I don't think she knows.
I think she was like skill glamored or something like that.
They made it like that, or almost just she saw what she wanted to see.
Let's put it in 2021 terms.
There's a sperm. Well, actually, kind of, yeah. So really, all the Farseers left, well, besides Jade, are from Fitz.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, and they treat him like crap, and he's like, shouldn't be. So I'm just wondering if, because technically Ketcherkin didn't really know what was going on, like, do you think that'll ever come to light? That
I hope not.
I don't think so.
I feel so bad for her. Like that would traumatize you, I would think.
I don't think Fitz will ever say anything, and the fool won't say anything.
So this takes place way before even Farseer, but I read the Willful Princess and the Piebald Prince before starting this. Did you? Oh, nice. I was gonna ask if anybody else read it because Cryptic told me I should read it before.
I read it like during, and I really liked it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's really short. And it just gives the background of like why witted people are hated and persecuted is a big part of it. But there's also a big part of it that has to do with the true Farseer lineage.
Yeah.
And just the way that was done, it makes me feel like that's going to come up a little bit later. So I wonder if there'll be questions of the lineage and questions.
Well, it already has. Because didn't you remember the part in the book where they were talking about the Farseers have the wit in their line because they're descended from the Piebald Prince? And then I think it was Fitz who said, no, they aren't. The Piebald Prince had no get. But you're like,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
All right, now I'm going to go buy this.
Yeah, you have to.
Okay.
It's kind of
Don't make
pricey
me buy
for such a
more
short
books.
It's just teeny tiny.
You can read it so fast.
I read it while we were driving to somewhere, like on our vacation. Like it was.
Andrew, buying books makes you happy, so.
It does make me happy. I'm trying to start buying books for other people.
Maybe I'll buy it.
Nice. I actually bought like 2 book gifts today, and it made me very happy.
Yes, it makes me so happy.
Yeah.
I just sent one to Leslie, and like I've got people. I've sent some to Nico. I've sent some to John.
It's fun.
It is fun.
You're like, this is my favorite. Hint, hint.
Read this.
Yes. Yes, exactly. I think it really does put a lot into the current books. It just adds to the story so much. Plus, I like how it's told. I think it's well done.
It was super interesting. It was really different, but I also just love the fact that I was getting a Hobb book that I could read in like 2 sittings. Like, that was great. To 2 sittings, read the whole Hobb book.
What's the POV structure like in it? Is it like from a certain perspective, or is it told like a poem?
It's told like a told story. Literally, someone is telling you this story. So it's first person.
Yeah, and they're telling you their part of the story, and then they're reiterating someone else's part of the story. So it's in like 2 parts.
Right, but they're like telling you that they're telling you what someone else said you had to know. So like it's interesting, but I really like it.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So what did you guys think about the piebalds, like in their, I don't know.
So I kind of understood what where the piebalds themselves were coming from, but I didn't like how they went about it. So like when they get brought down by the old blood and by, you know, just the delaying tactics of Fitz and Dutiful and the Fool and all them, I was okay with it because like you're literally taking a prince who you could have literally easily won to your side, and you're just trying to get revenge at this point. Like this is spite, not progress for the old blood.
Well, and I think it was really like it was just a few, and a lot of the others didn't really know what's going on. So it sounded like it started as being like a really legitimate movement, where they're just like, hey, you know, stop literally torturing and murdering us. That's not cool. But then some other people took it a different direction. And so it's, even though like I wonder if that's going to continue, but it definitely seems like the relationship between the Witted and the rest of the people is going to probably come up quite a bit in the next couple books, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I was also wondering if the conflict was going to continue. Like, is that what this is going to be like centered around, is persecution of the Witted and that kind of thing?
I think it's going to start revolving around this Pale Lady.
That does seem like it's going to be important too.
They specifically because the Fool or Lord Golden keeps bringing up this Pale Lady, and there was like a couple chapter headers about the Pale Lady, but she doesn't really appear in the book except towards, I think, the very end. She might make a cameo because she's with the she's not a princess. I don't know.
No, she's kind of like a princess, though. She's like the daughter of a chieftain of some kind.
Yeah, something like that. But I think she was part of her retinue. Yes, Mr. Buttons!
So she's going to be like the main antagonist, maybe.
I think so.
I could see that, but I could also see that waiting until another series too, either way, because I'm sure it's going to be at some point, but isn't there another Fitz and the Fool trilogy?
Yes,
later?
There's one more trilogy.
So I could see it being either this one or that one, like whichever one she decides to make it the main center of. It'll be one of them, I think.
Yeah, I definitely think we're going to get it at some point.
Yeah, there was, if the brain is working, there was a passage about the Pale Lady setting her up her own false catalyst.
Yes, and well, he died. He was the guy that set up the Red Ship Raiders and started the forging and all that stuff. And then he got killed by our dragons. Well, our dragons.
So there's
we did air quotes at the same time.
Dragons would be offended at what you just said. So
it's true.
I did. That just reminds me. I was thinking the other day, somebody was talking about Farseer, and they're like, I mean, some of these things seem pretty predictable. Like, obviously, the Elderlings were dragons, and I'm like, just keep reading.
The Elderlings weren't dragons.
Yeah. You're like, but
they were dragon friends.
I used to think that. Well, when I first started reading, I thought the Fool was an Elderling.
Like that totally made sense.
Yeah, that would.
But then,
make
like,
sense.
they kept making it sound like the Elderlings were dragons, and then that's even at the end of our series. Like, well, I guess they were dragon statues the whole time, and so that's what made Live Ship even better. Because I always thought that didn't make any sense. I'm like, that can't be right, and that was one of the few things that annoyed me about Farseer. And then it came later, made it even better. And so that's just why I thought it was funny, because I'm like, you'd think that, even the characters think that, but keep reading.
Yes.
I also want to know more about the Fool. Like, we get little snippets into his backstory, but like he was talking about becoming a prophet, and wasn't there like another prophet, or he wasn't supposed to be the one?
Yeah, the white lady.
Yeah, and then
it was like the older prophet.
And I just think his backstory just has so much more that I want to know about, and she's only giving us like little things here and there, and I gotta.
Well, this one is called Tawny Man.
Feeding it to his piecemeal.
So yeah, I'm hoping we get a lot more Fool in this one, since it's because this is Tawny Man, and then I think the next one is Fitz and the Fool. So maybe this one will get a little bit more focus, because that's definitely, there's so much mystery around there.
I love their relationship dynamic.
I know, they're so freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
And it feels like the Fool is a lot older than Fitz.
think he is.
I'm pretty sure he is. Yeah.
He's ageless or immortal almost.
I get that feeling, but
well,
I
he
just
said
love
that they age less. They age more slowly. Remember?
So like, is he
He
even?
said it to Fitz.
I don't think technically is the thing. It's they seem to be, and I think that's part of the whole, male female thing is like, well, it kind of sounds like that whatever he is, like his people might not be fully human, so it might not be the same divide.
Right.
In that way too. So I've wondered that too. It sounds like might not be fully human.
I don't know why he reminds me of Hoyd from the Cosmere from Sanderson.
Oh, that's a good parallel.
I don't know why.
It is.
Like I don't know if Robin Hobb's gonna like expand this universe, but I could see him being like just one of those kind of
jumpers.
It makes me
I've heard
wonder
rumblings of new books.
What?
I've heard rumblings from Hobb of possible new books set in the realm.
Ooh.
I just want more like.
But they all fit on my shelf.
So
I know, it's like, but my shelf will be full.
There's no room. But I do wonder now if Hoyd was partially inspired by the Fool, like appearing in different stories. I know Sanderson read Hobb, so it could be.
You read? I've listened to him talk about how he decided to have Hoyd jumping in and out. And he said that a lot of it just comes from him reading all these different fantasy books and saying like, it would be awesome to be reading all these and have a connection between them, have someone who like jumps in between in every book. Nico, you're correct.
Ooh.
Anderson
which thing that I said?
You're always correct, according to Jennifer.
I'll take it as a blanket statement.
Yeah. Just go tell your wife that Jennifer said you're always right, and all arguments are now settled.
I'm sure it'll work that way completely.
Yeah. Don't let her hit me.
Forgot what I was gonna say. I'm sorry.
That's my fault.
He partially based it on the Fool. That's cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. I like that. I didn't actually know that, so.
I mean, that's like I could see this. I don't know, some similarities. So, but I just was not expecting the Fool to like not be a court jester. Like he's come as this like lord that's like. Yeah. In the first series, he was like pale, super pale, and his eyes were like super white, and now he's like all tawny.
And all the girls like him, and so like, what? The Fool?
Yeah.
Well, see, and I love too that Fitz was getting jealous of the Fool getting attention instead of the other way around. Because before the Fool's like, "Why are all these women trying to get with Fitz? He's mine." And now Fitz is like, "What's going on over here with you guys?"
Like,
yeah, Fitz is convinced that Laurel and Golden are just going at it.
Their thing. I don't know. I think they're just like working together for the queen. I don't know if there's actually anything going on. You never know. I don't know.
I don't think there was. It's just Fitz thinking, that there is, because he still does it. Like, he still fits. He's still, like, super dense when it comes to some things, a lot. So, like, I'm sure the Fool's not going to be happy to meet the witch.
Did anybody else get the feels when, like, Fitz finally gets back to Buckkeep and sees Katrikin and just goes, "Oh, my queen"?
Yes. So
and then promptly gets smacked upside the back of the head.
Because he still fits, it's still a Robin Hobb book. You gotta
like they were good friends. Like they genuinely were good friends, While Verity was out, Fitz was her confidant.
Yeah, he took care of her.
Yeah.
See, and that's why I could see, because I feel like it's already been kind of hinted that there were some rumblings about her original child not even being Verity. Well, there were the rumblings about her original child not even being Verity. So I wonder if that would come up, because Fitz really is the father, not Verity. So if anybody ever tries to do that, and they'd be right, and Ketchikan would like deny it, and Fitz would be like, "Well, you see,
it's like I didn't do it.
How technical?
Verity did it with my body, while I was in Verity's body." And don't look at this analogy too deeply.
She writes the weirdest like relationship situations. Like she just does.
Well, like Fitz and the Fool, I feel like the Fool is just in love with Fitz. And if Fitz breaks the Fool's heart, I'm gonna hate him. I don't care if I love him right now. Like I love the Fool more.
I'm really wondering how that relationship is going to be handled, but I wonder, which granted it's Robin Hobb, so like you can never expect a happy ending, but if they ever get a happy ending, I feel like it'll be like they just, they're so close as companions they don't need anything else or something
Romance.
like that. But I don't know. It's still Robin Hobb, so she likes to hurt people.
She does.
Well, the end of Life Ship was mostly a happy ending.
Mostly. That still surprised me, but this book didn't end with no freaking happy ending, though. So,
well, it's hard to say that it wasn't. Like, don't get me wrong, it wasn't a happy joy ending, but Fitz wasn't dead in a ditch.
Yeah, it's the same. It's like Assassin's Quest had such a bittersweet ending. It's like all the terrible things that had happened, but then like Fitz seemed like things were gonna look okay, and then you start Fool's Errand, immediately like all of the sweet parts about that bittersweet ending are stripped away, and like, nope, not anymore. Now it's all bad things too, and you get that little like glimpse of happiness at the end. But I mean, we haven't talked about it yet, but I
don't want to talk about it. Okay? I'm still not okay.
I kind of knew deep down it was going to happen, and I think just didn't want to let myself think about it.
I immediately dived into Jimmy Nuts' Discord because I'm one of his patrons as well. And I was just like, Jimmy, what just happened? Like, I was bawling. I was talking to Jimmy, Jake Bishop. I messaged Nico. I was not okay.
It was done in such a beautiful way. It really was. But I knew it was going to happen. But then it started, like, it kept not happening. And I'm like, maybe it's not going to happen. And then it hit me out of nowhere. Like, I had to go back and read. I'm like, wait a minute. Did it just happen? And so, oh, man. It's like I knew. I mean, like the later series, if more time passes, you can't live forever. But it was.
Well, I mean, and Night Eyes.
That was so sad. I couldn't. Do you think
it is the first book to make me cry in years?
Oh.
I think that was only like the 5th book ever to make me tear up. It's really hard.
I feel like I cry much more at books, but I literally never cry in movies. But at books, I do sometimes. I feel like I get so much more invested.
Because Night Eyes seems so much more like a human in this book, in my opinion. Like, they were talking about how the animals can take on the human, like more humanness, and it just seemed that way. And he was just, I don't know, just more like a person.
Yeah.
Well, you could definitely tell he was becoming a crotchety old man.
Yeah. And it's the whole time with him basically like trying to hide his pain from Fitz, and he knew it was happening, and he was so mad at Fitz trying to like give some of his life force to him and all of that, and just like he knew it was coming and was just trying to prepare Fitz for it, and just Fitz was like, nope, I'm just gonna pretend everything's all right. And it's just with that, and then just like the ending is that passage was just beautiful.
The whole dream sequence, I was just, and like when he woke up, I was like, wait, no.
I literally, when he woke up, I had to go back and read again to like make sure that it really happened. I'm like, no, because I just like, it happened so close to the ending. I'm like, maybe it really is gonna be okay. Who knows?
I was just like, yes, they made it.
But
do you think he'll get another like bond to another animal? No, you don't?
I don't think he will.
I don't think so.
At least not in this trilogy. Maybe, like, I don't know how much time passes between them, but maybe in like the next one, if it's enough time, maybe. But even then, I kind of
he's already, Night Eyes was number 3.
I know. It's like losing like a spouse or a person. Yeah, I hope he does though, because I feel like that. Because Fitz is always so lonely. Like he doesn't have anybody. Hap is doing his apprenticeship. He's
now got the Fool to fill that void.
Yeah, but the Fool's not always around.
Well, he's going to be training Dutiful too.
That's true. He's going to be back at the castle.
Yeah.
But then, like, there's still that, hey, I'm your dad, but I can't tell you. I can't treat you like a son. I can't even, like, acknowledge it.
No one's going to treat him like Fitz. Everyone's going to treat him like someone else.
So. Like Tom Badgerlock.
Badgerlock.
Stupid name.
At your service.
I thought maybe he was going to go into hiding like Jade.
I mean, it's better than
Yeah, I
Brad.
thought so too, actually.
Mm-hmm. That way he wouldn't have to like worry about anyone recognizing him. Which I don't care how much time passed. I don't see how no one can recognize him unless like.
Well, he got his like nose super effed up, and he has scars all over.
I mean, like he survived torturing. He's old. He's grizzled. His mannerisms. He's become a hermit.
It kind of, the description of Fitz actually reminded me a lot of Monte Cristo and the Count of Monte Cristo, with how just based on the extreme like damage and deprivations, he has changed appearance so much. Nobody's thought about him, and he looks like he's much older than he is too, because he just hasn't taken care of himself. So I can kind of see it. I know people complain about it in that book too, that really no one recognizes him, but I think it's nobody's expecting to see it. You know, you're like, oh, you look kind of like that kid who died 15 years ago, except you know, you look like you're 40 or 50. So
35, sir.
I was slightly offended. I was like, she's making that seem like it's so old.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's. They made him seem like he is much older.
They did. They made him seem like he was 60 when he's freaking 35.
He's not a healthy man. Okay.
Yeah, he's been brought back from. He's been tortured, brought back from the dead.
Yeah, I know.
Plus, I also completely identify with feeling like a much like older person inside. I'm crotchety and like my joints.
My back is a constant just pretzel.
It's just,
and I'm 31.
You know.
Well,
I'm sorry, guys.
I was kind of offended. I'm 34.
I remember you saying that in Discord actually, so that made me laugh. Like, that's not that old. Okay, it's really not. But at the time, T, I think about in like a medieval setting, that would be considerably older. Because I mean, I think Shrewd was only like in his 60s, and he was like wasting away as like an extremely elderly man.
He had the skill wasting him away. Remember?
That too.
Yeah, that's true. I remember. You know what? That's a good point, because I remember when Verity was like skilling a lot, just the way
he looked a lot older than he is.
Yeah.
The skill takes a toll. Apparently, wasn't there a line that the Farseers die young?
I think I do remember seeing something like that. But even like when they first find Verity in the quarry, I think like nobody even recognizes him at first because he looks so physically changed too. So I think it does make sense. There's precedent for it.
Okay, I won't be as offended. Do you guys think Dutiful will bond to a new animal? Because didn't the cat die?
Cat died.
The cat's dead.
Fitz killed the cat.
Yeah, Fitz killed it. Well, he kind of committed seppuku using Fitz.
I thought that was, see, that's one of those things that it's like, obviously that's hard for Dutiful, but like the fact that the actual cat did care enough about him that it wanted to kill itself to protect him. Like there's the little, like she'll put something in there like that and then it's dealing with all the bad stuff too. But I liked that idea of it because Dutiful did seem to really, really care for the actual cat itself and not just the like woman that was in the cat.
I don't think he could really tell the difference at some point, you know, he just didn't know what he was doing.
Well, I think it really showed in her doing that how horrible it was what the woman and her brother were doing to the cat by taking over the cat like that, because the cat was miserable and like it wanted to die because the woman had just taken it over and like it didn't want to live that way. So I don't know. I think that really does emphasize how bad doing that is if you have the wit.
Well, yeah, they talked about it in like the early part of the book where, who was it? Those people that
the deer.
Yeah. So that was like almost foreshadowing kind of what's happening.
There was so much of that I felt like with this book where there was like, because it wasn't even like subtle foreshadowing. It was almost like Robin Hobb was kind of telling you, the reader, what to expect, even though like Fitz and the other characters didn't know. That's what I commented. I don't think I did a review for this one, but in my head when I reviewed it, apparently, it's almost like it's a mystery novel, but you, the reader, are given a lot more clues than the actual characters are. So I thought that was so interesting because there were a lot of things were fairly predictable because she basically told you. what was going to happen.
You want to know the English teacher term for that?
The what?
Yes.
The English dramatic irony.
Dramatic irony.
But to answer your question, I do think Dutiful will bond again.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think he's young enough that he will bond again.
Okay. Do you guys think that like the people that are opposed to the wit, when they find out, if they find out, because I'm sure they will.
Oh, did we lose Megan?
Huh?
Nope, we lost Andrew.
We lost you.
He's doing what I did earlier, where it looks like for him everyone else is freezing, but that's really him.
You guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Internet's freaking out.
It happens.
Yeah, I had the same thing,
But do you think that they're gonna try and like dethrone the Farseers or Dutiful when they find out that he's witted, just because there's so much?
Oh, probably. It's Robin Hobb. I mean, like,
I could see that being a big conflict.
Anything that can go wrong probably will.
Yeah, but when, like, they were giving Ketchikan crap because they're like, she has said don't mess with the witted, but she really enforcing it. So I think there's a lot of tension there.
Well, Dutiful's about to become king in waiting. Do I have that term right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he can start enforcing the rules here soon.
That'll be interesting though, because they did set up too that like Ketchikan has kind of tried, and they're gonna try a little bit more, but it's she's already not in exactly a very strong place overall. So I think there's going to be a lot of drama around the Dutiful taking over as king, especially with the Out Islands too, which I thought that was interesting, and it definitely fit with some of the stuff that was said at the end of Farseer 2. Like it feels like it hasn't been that long, and we're joining these two kingdoms. Like I know it's been 15 years, that's almost a generation, but it's still interesting just because there was such a huge event. But there's so much I wonder, and I'm really curious. I was so tempted to read the second book as my first book this month, but I have so many things, so I haven't gotten to it yet.
Do you guys think that Nettle will ever find out that she's a Farseer?
I don't know if she'll find out she's a Farseer, but I think she'll find out that she has the skill and they'll train her.
I kind of have this like terrible moment in my head where she eventually does find out the truth about Fitz and like rejects him or something completely.
Oh, of course she will.
Like that's I know that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like Robin Hobb is really gonna salt the wound on that one later. So that's
I feel there's a limit to what Robin Hobb will do. I feel eventually Fitz and Molly will end up together, and it'll probably be after Birch dies.
Because he's like 20 years older than her, isn't he?
It's not going to happen.
I think
you don't think so?
I don't think it'll happen. No, nope.
I'm calling it right now.
Because after Birch,
but you know what? I'll buy you a book. If I'm wrong, I'll buy you a book.
And if I'm wrong, I'll buy you a book.
Uh-oh.
All right. Deal.
This is captured on camera. It's no going back now.
I really hope.
I think eventually Fitz will get what he wants, but it'll still cost him something.
They're gonna be like 90 years old together.
This will be fun to watch.
Well,
she knows the answer, I imagine. But... oh man.
Well, Jennifer knows all the answers.
Yeah, but I don't want to know ahead of time.
I think she has.
She's read all.
The joke is Jennifer is secretly Robin Hobb, and she's just.
Oh yeah, you guys said that last time.
It's every time we had a question or like weren't sure on something, she immediately had the answer in the chat, like every time. So.
Well, I think that Fitz in the full trilogy isn't even complete yet, if I remember correctly.
No, I have it.
I thought. Yeah, Fitz in the Fool's done.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think that was supposed to be the last one, but I have all 3 books.
Okay.
So at least that one has to be done. but
Well,
who
how many
knows?
more are there after? So we have the Tawny Man, we have the Fitz and the Fool, we have.
There's 4 in the Rain Wild Chronicles.
That always messes me up. Yeah, so 4 Rain Wilds,
So the Rain
and
Wild,
then another
and the Fool.
trilogy, and then the 2 more of Tawny Man. So
What is that?
9.
Oh, so there's only 2 more series after Tawny Man.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That's not that bad.
And the Rain Wilds
Yeah,
books
so
are
after we're done with Tawny Man, there's another 7 books.
7.
Um,
Man, my internet is really, really struggling.
Hey, we can still hear you okay. Like you're a little fuzzy, but at least you're not like gone and frozen, so.
Yeah.
okay.
Fair enough. I'll take it.
I don't really have anything else for you guys. I'm excited to read book 2 because I want to see those like interactions with Fitz training Dutiful, because just the way that Chade was describing him as a student and he's like unruly. I want to see that interaction, and I want to see Dutiful kind of like grow and mature and become king. And I really liked how they were talking about Nettle and describing her, how she like has all these younger brothers and she's like has no interest in like dating or being a wife, and she like wasn't she wanting to be like in the guard or like fighting, or what did he describe her as? I'm trying to remember. Do you guys remember?
I know that she's
a huntswoman,
like,
right? Or she's
yeah,
the like hand of the queen.
No, she's not the hand of the queen. That other chick is.
I said Nettle.
Yeah, Nettle, Fitz's daughter.
I don't know. I could see her like going to Buckkeep and to be employed by the crown or something. Like I could just see that.
Well, Shade already invited her, so.
Man, Burrick ain't gonna be happy though.
Burrick be mad.
Yeah. Berg didn't want anything to do with the Farseers anymore. He's like, you killed my boy, you killed my dude. I'm done with y'all.
I feel like we are going to get a little more of them, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Do you guys have any predictions for the next book?
I'm going to voice my prediction. I think the Pale Lady's going to be the overarching villain. I think Dutiful's going to get into trouble because of the princess. She's going to probably try and do some sort of shenanigans. And then Fitz is going to have to go dig his butt out. That's the only way I see it going, unless you all are right. What do you all Skill River?
Was that Pillar? The Skill Pillar?
No, so he wasn't physically at the river, but the part where like he like kind of joined into like the skill.
Yeah, and remember something pulled him out, and it's like, oh, you're so cute, like chucked him.
I thought that was the dragons.
Been under force. No, like that seemed like that was like a god or something.
Yeah, it was like bigger than dragons.
I thought that was the dragons.
I don't think so.
That's not what I thought.
Yeah, I took it more as like a god, and then even saying like one of the others might not have even noticed you. So like there's like it was so vague, but yeah, between the others island and those were the things that just I was not expecting whatsoever. Maybe should mean color.
Like who the others are? That was never even explained in Live Ship, was it?
So, it is going to be explained, I think, later, at least a little bit, is what Cryptic told me without giving any spoilers, because I don't actually know. And he's always careful not to give spoilers when I ask him questions. I'm just like, is this going to be addressed? And he's like, kind of, is usually what he tells me. But my prediction with the others, which I don't think this is probably 100% right, but kind of what I was thinking is that since the Elderlings are like dragon friends, basically from being around dragons so long, they become kind of dragon-like. I feel like the others, at least to an extent, became what they are from being around the sea serpent, She Who Remembers, for so long, and so like they slowly became more sea serpenty.
Okay,
I do agree.
That's a good
with
point.
Jennifer on this one. Tintaglia would have been like, "Nope, sucks to be you.
Go away from me, peasant."
Wow, she's such a.
I don't know. We've not met any sort of deity in any of these books, so I assumed it was just the reemergence of the dragons.
I mean, they didn't really even talk about any type of god except for Saw in Live Ship. I don't remember.
We have Ida and El and Farseer, like the god of the sea and the god of.
I didn't know if it was a god or if it's just some very, very strong being. But
yeah, there's so many things that we know there's other stuff, and I feel like that's like the other island being brought up. Like it was a nice tie-in to Live Ship, but it seems like that's going to be very significant, and that's why it just took me really off guard in a really awesome way. But that's what I'm wondering. But yeah, we know there are dragons, we know there are sea serpents, we know that at least like the priests of Saw do have some sort of power that doesn't seem to necessarily be 100% skill related. Because it sounds like anybody can do it with training on like the skill. But so we've got these like different somewhat natural magic systems. We've got these different types of creatures. The fool may not be human. So I think there's a lot more to the realm of the Elderlings than we've seen so far. And that's one of the things I'm so excited about. I want to know all of this stuff.
We're going to get answers to all the questions. So.
Hopefully.
And yet, Jennifer is watching and could give us all of them. Isn't that right, Robin Hobb? I know it's you!
Or should we call you Megan Lindell?
Did you guys see that she won that award, that fantasy award?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, it was the Lifetime Award, wasn't it?
Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. Because I feel like she
even not finishing, I feel it's deserved.
As like, I don't know, George R.R. Martin or Brandon Sanderson, but she's just as good. It's just different.
Yeah,
she's not quite as.
She's honestly easily. She's better than anybody else currently writing right now.
I like Sanderson better.
Those two are really hard to compare.
Yeah, they're so different. Like
they are. That's true.
She makes me feel the feels, but Sanderson's like his universe is so complex and interesting and intricate. So it's like depends on what you're looking for. It's like I can't compare either. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, like those are both authors that are in my top, but like, because I love Sanderson quite a lot. But yeah, Hobb in the middle of Royal Assassin already. I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be in my like top list of authors already. Like I felt like I knew very quickly. And so it is really hard. I've been reading so much more slow stuff, and Sanderson stuff, at least some people think it's slow. I don't. But like all of the slow burn stuff, I've really been enjoying it, but it's such a different feeling from his stuff.
Yeah.
I don't remember Jenna.
That's the Hedge Witch.
That's her name. Okay, It was actually annoying me. I couldn't remember what it was.
Yeah, I liked her.
I liked her quite a bit, actually. Yeah.
It was weird because like I thought she was like 50, and then like the Fitz was like 35. Because like didn't it say she was like hunched over with like a bum eye or something like that?
No, not that I remember. No, they describe her as walking up to his cabin, and she has like a womanly shape. That's the way they describe
her cat. Yes, the cat at the end was my favorite. I almost cried when he was like so sad and stuff, and the cat's like, pet the cat, you'll feel better. And then he pets the cat, and the cat's like, see, you feel better. You petted the cat. I'm like, oh, that was so cute.
Well, and just the whole cat thing too. Like that was an interesting way to bring it up. But yeah, just like the ending, where like he's there, he feels like everybody's laughing and having a drink, and it's still that little like the bittersweet ending, like everything that's happened, but that little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. So yeah, I do feel like Hobb balances it out a little bit too. But Andrew and I were joking because Andrew kept messaging me in Farseer every time, like, was it really this easy? Why does every woman want Fitz? Like, what's going on there? And so in this one, I'm like, okay, at least there's a reason now. He's got this charm that automatically makes people like him, but
that's a whole nother discussion.
I don't remember magic being in the original 3 books. I don't remember. It might have been. I just don't remember.
No, not like hedge witch.
Was skill. They didn't really mention the hedge witches though.
Right.
But I hope he's in the next couple books because I think they'd be like a good relationship dynamic thing.
Yeah, I think they'd be cute. Better than him and Molly.
You think so?
Never liked Molly. Did anyone not like Molly, or is it just me?
I don't.
I didn't really like Molly, but I especially didn't like Fitz and Molly together.
I just thought she wasn't very nice to him. From what I remember, I don't know.
He wasn't very nice to her either. They just were not good together.
Yeah,
they were stupid teenagers who didn't think about what they were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and that's at least
They
for
were
me,
thinking with their
so
downstairs
we were
bits,
talking about them
and
ending
frankly,
together.
it bit them both
That
in
is
the
very
butt.
true. Yeah.
Yeah, just meh about Molly. I don't know.
But
I'm just.
it's like, I mean, I get definitely because, we all root for Fitz. So you're like, oh, it didn't work out. And she moved on. But like kind of the whole thing, that's what I put it into perspective was the whole thing with her and Burrick at the end of Farseer, where she's like, look, like, Fitz always told me he loved me, but then he wasn't there for me and, chose the kingdom over me. And like all I've heard about this kind of love, like you've never said that you love me, but you've treated me as a person who actually should. And just kind of like, she kind of realized like I'm kind of over it with Fitz. Like she did care for him, but like
She was
it
willing
was
to
just,
let Nettle die.
It was hard. Toxic relationship. Bad situation.
I think I literally froze when I said she was willing to let Nettle die.
You did.
you froze. Was that dramatic? She's like, let her die. Oh man.
Well, I am out of my notes, so unless you guys want to.
I think I brought up all my asides. I think I brought up all my asides.
Okay. So I have to read the Piebald Prince book, so now I'm probably going to fit it and try and fit it in somewhere this month.
It's actually really
so
easy
short.
to fit in.
Okay.
I am not going to try and fit anything in.
I got it on Book Depository.
I am trying to flick books out of my TBR.
It is also on Amazon. I don't know which place is cheaper.
Okay, I'll look at it.
But
yeah,
so I got that and Inheritance.
I was getting this series and that popped up as something like, hey, people who buy this series buy that book. And I'm like, good to know. So added it to my list.
Maybe I'll get the 4th Rain Wild book too while I'm at it, since I only have 3.
I really should just get all of them right now. Like, I'm going to read them anyways. Might as well just buy them.
What are you smiling at, Andrew?
I'm going to buy them.
Down there grinning.
I know he's just
I'm just going to buy them.
Yeah, right? That's how I am right now.
I'm just happy that I'm going to be buying books.
Yeah.
All right. Nothing else?
I'm good.
That's better.
I would try and bring up other topics if I could think of them, but my internet hates me.
Yeah, it was a fairly straightforward book too. It wasn't like super convoluted or anything. So.
Yeah.
I'm mad that Night Eyes was taken out by a cat.
It was time. Hey, cats are vicious.
Well, he almost got taken out by his own inability to swallow. Which would you prefer? Gotta take one.
I mean, it's true. If that would have happened, I don't know if I could have continued. I would have been like, are you kidding me? That's how he dies? Choking on a fishbone? Come on.
I know.
Oh, I would have rioted.
We would not be here today.
Like, sorry, no one finished.
Like, no, we're done. No.
Everybody who says it's the best lied.
Never eating fish again.
Yeah, it was so fun having Jennifer here. She knows everything.
She sets us up.
It's always having Jennifer around.
She's great. All right, guys. Well, I guess we are good. So I plan on getting to the set. What is it, Golden Fool? I don't even know when I'm going to get to it, but we'll set up another live show. So for you guys that are watching, sometime in September, I guess. So, do you guys have anything else?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Or you just keep